In 2015, world leaders came together to launch the Sustainable Development Goals.
These global targets promise to leave no one behind and deliver peace and prosperity for people and the planet by 2030.
This week's SDG Summit marks the halfway point towards the deadline for most of these goals.
Depressingly, the vast majority is already failing.
In fact, almost a third of all targets are not only off track, but showing either zero progress or actively getting worse.
What does this mean? It means the world's most
vulnerable people are facing the brunt of our collective failure,
which is a direct result of global injustices that go back hundreds of years but are still playing out today.
For example, we have a morally bankrupt financial system and expect developing countries to meet targets that developed countries met with far fewer constraints.
World leaders must therefore urgently
overhaul the international financial and economic system to respond to today's challenges, not those of the 1940s.
And this isn't our analysis, but the words of the United Nations Secretary General ahead of this year's seminal SDG Summit.
He's angry, and so are we.
We are also angry that the blatant discrimination against Africa at the heart of the international system means African children and young people are still furthest behind.
For example, estimates suggest that we are far from achieving goal 1 of no poverty. The majority of the 575 million people are estimated to be still living in extreme poverty by 2030, will be in sub-Saharan Africa.
While progress towards the Sustainable Development Goal 4, which is quality education, has seen a number of children out of school fall in the rest of the world, it has increased in sub-Saharan Africa by 20 million.
What about Goal 8.7, ending child labor in all its forms by 2025? Another devastating failure is that there are now more child laborers in Africa than there are children in the European Union.
This has all happened while the global wealth has grown by over $14 trillion since 2015.
How rich must the world be before every child and young person in Africa is free, safe, and educated?
If the SDGs stand a chance at being achieved, then we need world leaders to take urgent action on global tax and tax injustice. Implement a new ODA target for a fair share for African children and deliver stronger representation of African countries in key international bodies such as the IMF and G20.
Justice for Africa is a youth and student-led campaign convincing our governments to act on these demands.
Join our next global mobilization on Africa Human Rights Day, October 20th, 2023. Thank you.